Hello everyone, in this session we will discuss about discount and we will see one question of journal entry. Now first let us see what is discount. Discount is an allowance given by the seller of goods out of selling price, also called list price or catalog price, or a deduction for making prompt payment. Now it is an allowance which is given by the seller to the purchaser. Now discount are of two types. One is trade discount, another is cash discount. Now trade discount, this discount is allowed by wholesaler or manufacturer to the retailer at a fixed percentage on the listed price of goods. Means it is a discount given by wholesaler or manufacturer to the retailer on a fixed price, that is the marked price, or you can say as catalog price. It is allowed when goods are purchased in bulk. Remember that trade discount is given only when the goods are purchased in large quantity. This discount is allowed both on credit as well as cash transactions. Since it is related to the purchases and not to the payment, means since it is not related with cash payment, so it is given on both credit as well as cash transactions. And for trade discount, no separate entry is passed. Remember that we don't record trade discount in journal, as it is deducted from cash memo or invoice of the goods, because while recording in cash memo, or you can say source document, we deduct trade discount, and after deducting the amount we write in invoice or cash memo. That is why this trade discount is not recorded in journal. For example, suppose if goods are sold for rupees 2 lakh of the list price of 1 lakh at 20% trade discount, then entry will be cash account to sales account and amount will be different. Instead of writing 1 lakh, we will deduct this 20% of 1 lakh, that is 20,000, and after deducting we will write 80,000 directly in the journal. If the goods sold at trade discount are returned by the customer, the amount of the trade discount is again deducted from the list price of the returned goods. Means suppose after selling this 80,000 worth of goods, if the buyer returns some amount of goods, then from that amount also we have to deduct 20% of trade discount. Now let us see another type of discount, that is cash discount. This discount is allowed to the customers for making prompt or early payment. Remember, trade discount was given for purchasing in large quantity, while cash discount is given for early or immediate payment. In other words, cash discount is allowed only if the customer makes the payment within a fixed period. Such discount motivates the customer to make the payment at the earliest. As the discount is allowed at the time of making payment, so the entry for cash discount is recorded along with entry for payment. Now, just because this discount is given at the time of payment, it is recorded in book. And remember that discount, it is a nominal account. So when we receive discount, that means it is our income or gain. So according to the nominal accounts rule, we will credit discount received. But when we allow discount, that means when we allow discount to our customer, it is kind of expense or loss for us. So at that time we will debit the discount allowed account. Remember that whenever discount is received, it is credited, and whenever discount is allowed, it is debited. Now let us see difference between trade discount and cash discount. Now first let us see meaning of these two. Trade discount is allowed by wholesaler or manufacturer to retailers at a fixed percentage on the printed price list or marked price. But cash discount is allowed if the customer makes the payment immediately or within a fixed period. Now, when is trade discount allowed? It is allowed on purchase of specified quantity, or you can say in large quantity. And cash discount is allowed when the buyer makes payment or on before specified date. Remember, in case of trade discount, it is specified quantity, and in cash discount it is specified time or date. Then object. What is the object of giving trade discount? Usually wholesaler or manufacturer, they give trade discount to motivate the retailer to purchase in in bulk quantity, while cash discount is given to make prompt payment, to make quick payment. Then recording in the books of accounts, trade discount is not recorded in books, while cash discount is recorded separately, like cash discount allowed and discount received. Then deduction from invoice. Trade discounts are directly deducted from invoice, while cash discount is not deducted from invoice. Now sometimes a customer is allowed both the discounts, means trade discount as well as cash discount, both are provided to a customer. In such a case, first remember the step, we have to deduct trade discount, and after deducting that we have to deduct cash discount. Okay, and cash discount we have to calculate on the balance of the amount, that is after deducting trade discount, whatever amount we get, we have to calculate cash discount on that remaining balance. Now let us see one example. If a trader sells goods of the list price 20,000, that means list price is 20,000, and he gave 10% trade discount and 2% cash discount. So we have to find out net amount. So according to the step, first we will write list price, that is 20,000. Then first we will deduct 10% of trade discount. 10% of 20,000 is 2,000. So after deducting, we got 18,000. Now we have to give cash discount. So this 2% will be calculated on this remaining 18,000 and not on 20,000. Remember that while in exam as well. So we will find out 2% of this 18,000, we got 360, and after deducting this 360, we got total amount 17,640. So it means that 17,640 will be paid if the payment is made in cash. Now this first we have remember that first we have to deduct trade discount, and on the remaining balance we have to calculate cash discount, and that we have to deduct cash discount. Now there are some advantages of trade discount to the retailer as well as to wholesaler, and there are some advantages of cash discount to the seller and to the buyer. Now this is for you to study at home. Okay, now next is rebate. It is also a reduction in the value of goods sold allowed by the seller. The rebate is also given to the purchaser by the seller. Now it is allowed for the reason other than for which trade discount and cash discount are allowed. Now trade discount, we know that we allow trade discount for buying in bulk quantity, and we give cash discount for prompt payment. Other than if there is any other reason for providing discount, then that discount is known as rebate. Now for example, rebate is usually allowed for inferior quality of goods sold, means if you have sold any good and if that good is not up to the quality which a buyer has expected, then if you reduce the amount of that good, then the reduced amount will be known as rebate, because you are giving some kind of discount, but not for bulk payment, bulk purchasing, or for cash payment or prompt payment. You are providing that discount for other reasons, so that is known as rebate. Now rebate is not that much asked in your question, it is mainly discount that is asked. So for accounting treatment, there is no separate entry is passed for rebate because it reduces the sales value of the good, just like trade discount. And since it is somehow kind of trade discount, it is also not recorded like trade discount. We usually directly deduct the amount of trade discount, rebate, and then we will write it in the invoice or cash memo. Now, but if rebate is allowed after the entry of sale of goods has already been passed in a separate, then a separate entry will be required. Now if suppose you have sold the goods, you have made entry in your books, and after that if something comes up and if you are supposed to give rebate, then you have to pass separate entry. And entry will be like, seller will pass following entry, means suppose you are the seller, then you have to pass this entry, rebate allowed, because it is your expense or loss. So according to nominal accounts rule, you will debit it and you will credit purchaser account. Then if you are buyer, then you will debit your seller's account, and since you are receiving the rebate, that means it is kind of gain for you, you will credit rebate received account. Now next topic is compound journal entries, because all these things, all means this discount and compound journal entries we will see in question number 5. So first you try to understand what is compound journal entries. Sometimes 2 or more transactions relating to one particular account take place, means there will be 3 or 4 transactions, but a common account will be there, and those transactions will be related to that particular account on the same date. In such cases, instead of passing separate entries for all such transactions, only one entry is passed, and that entry is known as compound journal entry. For example, suppose on the same date, that is 31st March, 50,000 were paid for salaries, 20,000 are paid for rent. Now salaries and rent, we know these two are different account, but we have to pay cash for salary as well as rent. So cash is the common account in both the transactions, so we will pass compound journal entry. So according to nominal accounts rule, both salary and rent, these two are our expenses, so we will debit both the accounts, and since cash is going out from our business while paying salary and rent, so we will credit only once the cash account. Now for writing the amount, first you have to see the amount of salary and rent, because altogether, because salary we paid 50,000 and rent we paid 20,000, so altogether 70,000 went out from our business. So in cash column we will write 70,000, and in narration you can write expenses paid. Now you can pass these compound journal entries in 3 ways: by debiting one account and crediting 2 accounts or more accounts. Means in this example we have debited 2 account and credited 1 account, but there is one another way, that is you will debit only 1 account but you will credit 2 or more accounts. Now another way is by crediting 1 account and debiting 2 or more accounts, just like we did in this example. And there is third option, that is by debiting 2 or more accounts and crediting 2 or more accounts. Means both in the debit and credit side there will be more than one account, such as the opening entry. Now for this opening entry also we will do journal, but not in today's session. So you have to understand that compound journal entry means either there will be 2 or more debit accounts or 2 or more credit accounts. Now this was the explanation of discount and compound journal entries. Now let us see one question. The question that I have taken is question number 5 from your book. This is practical question number 5. Now in this question there are certain points that we have earlier discussed. Okay, so we will be focusing on those points. Now this is your question, and for your betterment you try to open your book whilst watching this video, so that you don't have to if you have book, then you open to your question number 5 and try to focus on your book as well. Okay, now first entry is commenced business with cash. That means the first entry will be our here cash account debit to capital account, and in the narration we wrote cash brought in as capital. Then second is purchase goods from Subhar. Since they haven't mentioned whether this purchase was for cash or credit, so we will consider it as a credit transaction. So we wrote purchases account debited to Subhash, amount 20,000. Then next is sold goods to Ramnath, means since it is not written for cash or for credit, so we will consider it as a credit transaction. So we pass the journal entry, Ramnath is the receiver of goods and sales account is always credited with 15,000 rupees. Then next is Ramnath returned some defective goods, means out of the 15,000 of amount of goods that he purchased earlier, he returned 1,000 worth of goods to us. So sales return account will be debited, because if sales account is always credited, then opposite of sales is sales return and it will be always debited. And who is the giver of those goods? Ramnath. And according to the personal accounts rule, credit the giver, so we will have credited Ramnath's account with 1,000 rupees. Now in next transaction, received cash from Ramnath rupees 13,800 and discount allowed rupees 200. Now for this, let us see one working note. Okay, earlier we sold goods to Ramnath worth rupees, worth rupees 15,000. Okay, and out of that 15,000 he returned us goods worth rupees 1,000. That means we have to receive 14,000 from him, but in the question they have given that he paid us, means we received from him 18,000 to 13,800 and 200 is our discount allowed. So that means we received cash from him 13,800 and discount allowed was 200. So altogether if we add these two, it is 14,000 which we were supposed to receive from Ramnath. So in journal, cash we receive, it is coming inside our business, so cash account is real account, and according to real accounts rule, debit what comes in. So we wrote actual cash received is 13,800. Then discount allowed is our expense, so discount allowed is debited according to nominal accounts rule, debit all the expenses. So we allowed him 200 of discount. So after passing these two amount in debit column, we will add these two and we will write on credit 14,000, and Ramnath's account will be credited because he is the one who is giving us cash. Okay, then next question is Gopal sold goods to us, or indirectly you can say we purchased goods from Gopal of rupees 10,000. So for that we will write purchases account debited to Gopal, because it is a credit transaction, so we have to write Gopal's name on the credit side, 10,000. Then next, paid to Gopal in full settlement. Remember, whenever you see this name, this full settlement, that means you have to consider all other transactions related with Gopal, okay, of his account after deducting 5% discount. Now let us see in working note. Earlier we purchased, in here you see, earlier on day 12 we purchased goods from Gopal worth rupees 10,000. So that we will write first. We purchased goods from Gopal worth rupees 10,000. Then in the question they said that we had paid to Gopal, means full settlement means clearing his all the due balances after deducting 5% discount. Now this 5% discount is nothing but cash discount, so we have to record it in our journal. So 10,000 we will deduct 5% of discount, so 5% of 10,000 is 500. That means after receiving 5% discount we have actually paid him 9,500. So this we will write in here. Gopal, he is receiving cash, so according to personal accounts rule, debit the receiver, so we will debit his account. Don't write amount starting, first you write which account will be debited and which account will be credited. Then We paid him cash, that means cash is going out from our business. So according to real accounts rule, credit what goes out. Then discount, we received discount from him. You have to be very careful while dealing with discount. You have to see whether you are receiving the discount or whether you are allowing the discount. Okay, until and unless you do, if you are not able to tell which one is the discount received or discount allowed, your journal entry will be wrong. Okay, so in this case we are receiving discount from Gopal, so we will credit it, and amount as we already calculated in working note, discount is 500 and actual cash paid is 9500. So first we will write on the credit side, discount received was 500 as we calculated, then actual cash paid was 9500. So altogether 10,000 we were supposed to pay him. Okay, now since this is the first ending of my first page, so I have found out, carried forward, and I got 1,20,000. Then now next transaction, it is simple. Paid rent means two accounts involved are rent account and cash account. So our journal entry will be rent account debited to cash account, rupees 10,000. Then next, paid rent of Hari Shankar's residence. Now you have to see who is this Hari Shankar, and at the starting of the question you see the books that we are preparing is for Hari Shankar and company. That means Hari Shankar is nothing but proprietor of the business and he paid rent for his residence. It is not related with the business. Okay, it is his personal expenses, so we will treat this payment as drawing. So we wrote drawings account debit to cash account, rupees 5,000. Okay, you have to understand which transactions are related with the proprietor's personal expenses and which are related with his business. If any expenses is related with the proprietor's personal things, then it will be treated as drawings. Now next is purchased goods for cash. Remember, from Govind for 6,000 at 20% trade discount. Now this transaction is cash transaction. The list price is 6,000 and we have to give 20% of trade discount. Now let us see working note. We purchase goods from Govind worth rupees 6,000. It is given in the question. Then they said that trade discount of 20% is there. So we will find out 20% of this 6,000. It is 1,200. That means we have to write 4,800 in our books as we are not supposed to record trade discount. Okay, so it will be treated as normal purchases transactions, like purchases account debited to cash because it is a cash transactions, as they have particularly mentioned in the question it is for cash. Okay, so we will directly deduct trade discount of 1,200 and we will write 4,800 in both the columns. Remember that this is trade discount and we will not write discount allowed or discount received. Then next transaction is purchase goods from Govind for 10,000 at 20% trade discount. Now in this transaction they haven't mentioned it is whether it is for cash or credit, so we will treat it as a credit transaction. So the purchases was for rupees 10,000, but there was trade discount of 20% as well. So we will see in the working note, purchase goods from Govind worth rupees 10,000 and there is trade discount of 20%. That is 20% of 10,000 is 2,000, so we will directly write 8,000 in our journal. So purchases account debit to Govind 8,000. Okay, I'm not explaining the narrations because it is very easy to write narration in your own words. Okay, and these Roman numbers are nothing but working notes Roman number, so don't get confused. Okay, the next transaction is paid to Govind in full settlement. In full settlement means we have to see all the transactions related with Govind, and by all the transactions means the credit transactions. Okay, he paid 7,000 we paid 7,850 in full settlement of his account. That means no matter how much we were supposed to pay him, we paid him 7,850, and if there is any remaining amount, that will be treated as discount. Okay, so let us see working note. Now after that credit transaction of rupees 8,000, we were supposed to pay him 8,000, so we wrote due to Govind rupees 8,000. Then in the question they said that we have paid 7,850, so we actual payment was made for rupees 7,850. Now if we deduct the 7,850 from 8,000, the difference is 150. Now this 150 will be nothing but our discount received. This is a cash discount, and we have to record it in our journal. So the entry will be Govind, he is the receiver, so his account will be debited. Cash is going out from the business and we receive discount, so we will credit it as well. Now come to the amount side. Actual cash paid was 7,850 as given in the question, and after calculating in our working note, we found out that we received 150 worth of discount received. So altogether we were supposed to pay him 8,000. Okay, like this manner you have to find out the total amount. Then next transaction is paid to Subhash 4,750, and we received discount of 250. Now in this transaction they have clearly mentioned how much amount of cash we paid to Subhash and how much amount of discount we have received. So the journal entry will be easy. Subhash is the one who is receiving, so we paid him cash is going out from the business, so it will be credited. Then we have received discount as per the question, so discount received account will be credited. Now see, as per given in the question, actual cash paid was 4,750 and discount received was 250. Now after entering these two amount in credit side, we will add these two and then we will write on the debit side. Okay, 5,000. So you can see this, you can follow this rule. First you have to check on which side there are more than one entry, more than one account. Like in this transaction number 25, you can see there are two accounts on credit side. So first you write down both credit sides amount, and after adding up you write on the debit side, because in all the transactions both debit and credit amount should be equal. Okay, now let us see the last transaction. Paid wages 400, salaries 4,000, advertisement expenses 800, and trade expenses 1,000. Now for all these expenses we have paid cash, so you can say that cash is the common account involved with all this payment. So instead of passing different entries for all this payment, we will pass one compound journal entry, because all this transaction took place on the same date, that is date 30. So we will write compound journal entry. We will debit all the expenses account like wages, salaries, advertisement expenses, trade expenses all together, and for paying all these things we gave cash, so cash is going out from the business, so we will credit cash account. So we will write down all the amounts given in the question of these four accounts, and after adding these four we will write on the credit side to cash as 6,200. Now after all the transaction we got 1,67,000 and 1,67,000 on both the sides of debit and credit column of our journal. So I hope you have understood this question, and if you have any doubts, you try to watch this video twice or thrice, because as I already told you in previous session, what journal entries we did was very simple, very basic. So those kind of questions they will not ask in exam. They will literally ask you those questions which takes time. So until unless you don't keep on practicing by yourself, you will not be able to solve this kind of questions in less time. And in accountancy exam, each second matters. Okay, so keep on practicing at home, and if you get stuck somewhere you can always ask me. Okay, so I have done question number 5, 1, 3 and 5. Yesterday in previous session I told you to do question number 2 as practice, and today I will say do question number 4 as your practice. I hope you understood this question, and if not, then you watch it twice or thrice this video to get your concepts clear. Okay, so for this session we will wind up here. Thank you.